Welcome everybody, and over to the mighty Tim Armu.
Right, cool. Hello. So with this thing, I can't actually see people, but that's all good. So I had a look at quite a few of the other topics. Lots of people are talking about, how to win and all that stuff. And that's, with every new platform, there will be people talking about strategies. And one of the things which I wanted to do in this one was to really focus on like two key things, which is how to grow your brand on TikTok and then how to run influencer campaigns, and try and make it a bit tactical, right? Often I've been at these type of events and you listen to some of the people and you're like, you just got that from Google, didn't you? So the aim of this is for you not to basically feel like you could basically get this from Google, because this is very tactical stuff here, how to succeed at TikTok before your competitors do. But by way of intro, so I'm Timo, I'm the CEO of FanBytes. I've been running FanBytes now for just over 3 years now. We're now a 60-person company, and I've actually been building companies quite a bit. I actually built and sold a media company at 17 before. And this is basically the slide we put in there to show that we're just not a bunch of cowboys, right? I think we saw this with Facebook and Instagram and all these other platforms, that anytime there's something new, you have these people just saying a bunch of generic stuff. So as you can see here, I'm not a cowboy, but I have a bigger beard now from these pictures. So that's a good thing. And also what we've done as a company is we've really focused ourselves on being able to help brands to win the hearts of Gen Z. So you can see here quite a few things from publications talking about how really we've been able to help brands win a Gen Z audience. And we help all these brands activate on TikTok and Snapchat and Instagram. So brands come to us because they want to run influencer campaigns. They want to grow their audiences across TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube, Instagram, and we do that for them. But additionally, something that's very relevant to this is, so at the start of lockdown, so as you can tell, so Jamie's mentioned the audience here is quite a US audience. And as you can tell, I don't have an American accent, so from the UK. And at the start of lockdown last year, we actually built the first ever UK TikTok house. So if you're very familiar with the concept of TikTok houses, which were popularized in the US by the Hype House, we were the first ever one in the UK. It's like 27 million fans across just TikTok, and we built up this whole thing. And the reason why I show this here, and we got so much press from it, the reason why I show this here is to, again, like outline that the stuff that we're going to show here is not just a bunch of like regurgitated stuff, right? That's what always happens. So this is all to show that it's like the tactical stuff we have used to grow brands, we have used to grow followings, we have used to actually really drive activation and drive results on TikTok. Additionally, one thing we've done is we've been able to build something called BYTESIGHTS, which is our own analytics tool we use to track things like trending videos, trending songs, trending hashtags. So we know when things are about to trend before they become quite popular. So we have about 15 minutes really for this, and I want to really focus on just these two things. So the first one is this idea of like, when brands come to us, and I'm sure with the people in this audience, there's probably two things that you're thinking about, right? First of all, how do I grow my brand on there? And then second, how do I run influencer campaigns on there? Or how do I run paid media campaigns on there? Now, paid ads is something we do a lot, but me coming here and telling you about paid ads, I think there are some people like that's a small part of the big plan. So we'll focus on these two things about how to grow your account and how to run really strong influencer campaigns. And you notice the start of this talk was how to succeed at TikTok before your competitors do. And that was a very intentional title, because so many of the things that we're about to show here, or like tactical stuff which you can do not only for yourself, but that we do day in, day out to constantly get an edge from the competitors of the brands that we work with, right? We'll do something for L'Oreal so that their competitors don't do it first. So these are all some like really tactical things to do there. So how to grow your account by playing the algorithm. So the first thing, I guess, about growing your account, and this is a step-by-step playbook we have used in order to take our own accounts from 0 to 500,000 fans in like a month. Actually, with the Byte House that you saw me talk about, we have an account which is currently on like 1.5 million fans, and it's just there. And we grew it using all these things that I'm just about to show. So if you want to grow your account, if you want to grow your audience, these are the things to really consider. So the first thing is pretty much how the TikTok algorithm works, right? And this is an algorithm that's applied to everything. It is very simple. It's show you more of what you're interested in, so you can spend more time on the app, so they can serve you more ads. Like fundamentally, this is how every algorithm works. The really good thing about the TikTok algorithm, as you guys probably know, is that often when people think about the audience on TikTok, they go, I want to go viral on TikTok, right? Like that's my thing. I want a ton of people to see me. And they kind of see the platform as this amalgamation of all these things: cats, pranks, family, LGBT, dogs, cars, dance videos, business. I mean, last night I was watching a video about gardening, and suddenly I was like, oh my God, I really need to go and garden at 2 a.m. But the thing about the TikTok algorithm and the way you should really think about the platform, it's not just this massive audience here, but it's actually thinking about them as these like individual subcultures which are part of TikTok and part of the platform. So the cats community is different to the family community, is different to the cars community. And you can basically train the algorithm for you to be able to constantly show up at the top of these things. So one question which I was going to ask is, have you noticed how like some videos have millions of views, but the profile only has 15K fans? And that's obviously because TikTok is one of those things where your aim is not to, quote unquote, your aim is not to grow your profile. Your aim is to optimize each video to be able to be seen by the most people, and that would grow your profile. And often I know from some of the brands we talk to, they say, we want to grow our profile, and what is all the content we should put on our profile? And I go, well, actually, the key thing here is like, let's figure out what the strategy is behind the videos, and that is what is going to then lead to then people coming back for your profile. So that's the first thing. It's like, well, that's the second thing. The first thing is stop thinking about TikTok as this kind of big world where you need to just be able to go viral on there, and actually start thinking about it more as these different subcultures. The second thing is thinking about the fact that they prioritize videos over profile. So you really have to focus on like thinking about how you optimize to make sure your video is seen by the most amount of people. So this here is a perfect example. This girl has 18,000 followers, but one of the videos has 1.3 million. The one before it, 500K. So this just evidenced this whole trend going on. So the way the algorithm works is very simple. It shows, so it's all about showing content to my tribe. So the tribe is what we talk about here. We talk about cats, dogs, and all that stuff. Like it shows it to them, and then if they like it, shows it to people similar to them, and then if they then like it, then it shows it to more people through the For You page. So the aim that you're trying to do is at this position there between showing content to the tribe and showing it to people similar to the tribe. You're trying to create content which would be engaging enough to then get to that next stage. And the way that you do this is something that we call at Fanbyte, this idea of like warming the algorithm. So all that basically means is telling the TikTok algorithm who you are and what type of content you want you want to show to people. and also what type of people you want to see your content. So in order to get the sequence going, we talk about this idea of warming the algorithm. And we talk about this idea of like, in your first 7 days of creating an account, don't post anything. Again, this is what we do with brands. Like, all we do is just like warm the algorithm. So how do you do that? So people have probably heard of, the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We basically came up with something which is absolutely unoriginal. We said the hierarchy of warmth, which is, these are the 3 things that when you do, what it does is that it feeds the algorithm. So say I was a cat brand. I'd go on and I'd search all the hashtags about cats. I'd watch the videos, I'd leave comments. That then tells the platform that, okay, this person should be tagged as a cat lover. So when they end up posting something, that then gets shown to other people. And the more that you do that, the more that you just rinse and repeat, when you then start posting your own content, what you should start doing is start posting with the hashtags that you actually have. And just before I go into this, so once you do this, as you start to post content on the platform, you know the hashtags to use those ones. And the biggest thing is to then start thinking about content that optimizes for watch time. Watch time is the biggest factor on a TikTok for people to be able to see. Watch time is first, and then rewatch rate. So if you can create content which just has a good watch time, which can be easy as tell people to wait till the end, or create a type of thing where the punchline is at the end, and you use those hashtags which are around cats. It can be cats of TikTok, felines, like there's so many different things that you can do in there. What will start to happen is you start to train the algorithm, and then it just really is focused on the type of content that you create on there. So I put here the 2 caveats to this, because sometimes people are like, oh, but this person was able to do it. And my hope, and the big one that I always say is, if you are already famous or you are already big on another platform, you could drive people over to you. But the whole idea is, if you just don't have any audience at all. So that's really the point there about like how to grow on the platform. It is incredibly simple to do. The big thing there is the expertise that comes with creating the type of content that you need, which is firstly, you warm the algorithm, then you create content that feeds into watch time, and then you just consistently do that. Then the next piece here is how you run great influencer campaigns. So this is something that I think is pretty simple. And here I may talk about product campaigns and music campaigns, but I think for this, it seems like the audience is quite product focused. So I'll talk about that mainly. And actually, a bedrock of this is we've built our own tool called BYTESIGHTS, where we're able to track the growth of everything. So we can track when an influencer is about to get big. We can track who is growing. But this tool lets us be able to pick who is the most, like, who are the best people for a brand. But the key thing that this tool provides us is just an insight into doing it. But the strategies here can be used quite well without perhaps having a tool like this, although it's great if you do. So we'll talk about product-based campaigns, and really, we're going to talk here about the fact that the purpose of this campaign is to drive sales, right? Traffic or installs. Really, it's about making money, right? So the reason why we as marketers, everyone here on this call, is thinking about this as a platform, because it's like, well, this is a cool platform where I can reach this audience and I can make money. And really, there's 4 things that we tend to look at. So first of all is custom sounds, using duets, and then surfacing existing hashtags. So this is something that we'll be showing some examples of. So when we talk about the 3 types of campaigns you can run on TikTok, which to us is drive the best results, we group them into these 3 things: influencer retargeting, leveraging trends, and cliffhanger content. And I'll show you different examples of how these things work and show you some good case studies of them. So the first one is this idea of influencer retargeting. So the platform, TikTok, it's great, but one of the ways you can do some really cool stuff is to tie in with paid ads. So the formula behind this is very simple. You run an influencer campaign using a duetted title together, then you repurpose the creatives to create a swipe up campaign through ads. So often when brands come to us, we'll do some kind of variation of this. And I thought I'll show you how this is practically done. So this is actually something we did with My Protein. For those who don't know, they're a very well-known fitness e-com brand. And what they want to do was they had this shaker, and they wanted to show how when you actually able to like the whole My Protein brand turns you stronger. So what we ended up doing was a campaign where it was a duet campaign where people almost passed the shaker through the screen. When you drank from it, then you turned into like an incredibly strong person. And the reason why this is good for product brands, it was a coordinated campaign. So it used the product front and center and used music to switch, but it also created an original sound. And the reason why that makes sense is because even after the campaign finishes, that sound is still there and people can still use it. And additionally, you had the duet function, which allowed people to wait to see what actually happened with this. When this was passed through, what actually happened. And by doing that, it ended up optimizing for watch time. So you see how we are layering things on. It kind of goes, right, first of all, keep the product center. Secondly, use a sound, which means that you can really own the brand and own the campaign. And third, we then optimize for watch time. So I'll show you an example of how this video actually looked. So that there was just a quick example of one, just because we don't have too much time. But he passed it through, she drank it, turned super strong, and suddenly was like lifting up her boyfriend and things like that. But what ended up happening then was we then took the best performing creatives, turned it into an ad itself, and then run ads. And the reason, and as you can see here, it resulted in an ROI of 3.5 to 1. And the reason why I put that number there and not, views and all that stuff, because, well, there's 2 reasons. First of all, I could come and show you how we drove like hundreds of millions of views for someone, but it's like, if you don't have that budget, then what's the point, right? But showing you how just this simple activation of influencers and then taking the best performing and tying into paid ads drove actual ROI. That there, I think, is a big window of opportunity for people who want to really, get the results in. So often for brands who work with us, we would use our tool to get the influencers, then we'll tie in the paid ads, and then suddenly it then acts very smoothly. The second point about leveraging trends. So this is a very important thing. So here I'll show you some work we did with this brand called Slug Books. But every time, this is a thing which I and my creative team, they bang their head against the wall every time when a brand comes and says, we want to do a hashtag challenge. And we go, all right, cool. And then we go, why? And they go, well, to get brand awareness. And the constant question we say is, yep, that's great. But if what you want is longevity on the platform and not just a great campaign there and then, you need to start thinking about like, how can you leverage an existing one? Because what will what would happen is if you want to start your own hashtag, that's cool. But A, your brand has to be relatively well known. And B, you have to be prepared to invest a lot to make it a thing. So what I mean by that is you can do a hashtag challenge, but like it's here this week, gone tomorrow. But it's here this week, gone next week, I guess. And the way to really circumvent that is to use, again, custom sounds, but then existing hashtags. They're a great way in which if something is already going up, so if something is already going up, you can actually create content which feeds into that and just like grow off it. So the example I gave here was about Slug Books here, and they are a site where you can buy and sell used textbooks. And rather than going, let's do a hashtag challenge, actually we thought let's use the hashtag college hacks because Slug Books fits perfectly into that. And so we use that tool to be able to see, okay, this thing is growing quite quickly. So if we can get content on that, as that grows, the brand would also grow. And that type of thinking now means that even after the campaign is finished, when people go on that, they will still be seeing this brand even months afterwards. And that's how you really turn this as a channel, you turn into more of a long-term channel. I'll just show an example of the type of content that's being created there just for you to be familiar with it.
School hack. I just found a way that you guys can save big bucks. You can get your college textbooks for way less than what your school is selling them for. It's called Slug Books. And guess what? It's legit. All right, here's what you do. You go to slugbooks.com, you put in your ISBN number or the title of your book, you press search, and there you go.
Right, so there you go. I mean, I just paused it just due to time, but one of the things you see there, it was like useful content. People are going to see it. It's not, hey guys, check out this thing, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, this is a school hack. This is a college hack. This fits into the reason why you search for this. And it will just keep going on and on and on. And then the final point here is about episodic content. So this I absolutely love. Personally at Fanbytes, we've also built and grown our own brands as well, our own e-commerce brands. And we use this to turn our brands to like tens of thousands of pounds per month. And I'll show you how this actually works. So remember that at the beginning, I kept talking about watch time being so powerful, and this whole idea that like it is quite possibly the most important factor. When you create cliffhanger content, which is basically the idea that you create something, you tell people to come back, or you tell people to go here for the next thing, it does two things. First of all, people keep coming back to watch the content. So TikTok goes, oh, that's good content, let me show it to more people. But if you do cliffhanger content and people actually say you do part 1 or part 2, and people then go back to watch your past videos. So for example, let's say you did 14 days of this. So you worked with an influencer, you got 14 days of this. If someone then sees, I don't know, day 10, and then they go back to see all your videos, again, TikTok goes, oh, this is good content, let me show it to more people. So in both cases, it feeds watch time and it drives much more engagement. So I thought I'd just show a final example of how this worked with this brand called Candy King, who are a confectionery brand. And one of the really powerful things here was they came to us, they said, we like to do something. And what we decided to do was something quite different. So rather than just saying, hey guys, here's Candy King, we came up with this idea of cliffhanger content and episodic content and said, what if we did 14 days of candy? So we got TikTokers to actually create something where every 14 days they unwrapped a new candy. And what was crazy about the results, just after 14 days, it had 10 million views. I think right now it's sitting on something insane, like 40 million views just extra, 2.4 million hearts and 160,000 comments. So I thought here I'll just show a final example here.
So the Candy King's mystery box came today. It's time to check what we got inside. Can we just appreciate how big this box actually is? So now that we've finally got it open, oh my life. What? Pepsi Blue. What is that? Okay, so we've got some Candy King stickers. I can't believe how much things are in here. Like, it goes all the way to the bottom. Look how much is in here. Fanta Soda Chem. What is that? Oh my God, what is Krabby Patty colour candy? What is all this? I can't believe. Wow, Dr. Pepper Vanilla. Wow. Oh my life. Fanta X. Oh my God. So apparently this drink is rare. It actually is a Candy King special. And it says, try me, exclusive product. I'm going to be trying one of these products every single day, people. So it starts from tomorrow. So come back tomorrow to see what we try first. I might try Pepsi Blue. Just look.
Right. So I realize this audience is a US audience. So his accent may have been really difficult. Even me, sometimes, me in the UK, sometimes I'm like, But the point was across there that it was doing this unboxing, and he said, you know, starting from tomorrow, I'm going to be trying each thing over and over again. And what was really interesting was the brand saw a 27% increase in traffic with no explicit CTA. We didn't tell anyone to go to it or anything like that, but it saw such a surge in traffic. And the reason why is because just over the period, people kept coming back. If, say, they're on day 8, they come back and see what did he try at day 6. And again, it feeds the watch time. It shows it to more people see it, more traffic, right? It's a very obvious kind of step-by-step process there. So that there was just the final example that I want to show around activating from an influencer perspective. I've kept this very tactical because I think that it's so key to, you know, tactical stuff as to how you can actually win before your competitors do. And that's finally it. Thank you very much.
Hi, Tim. Great. Here we go. Great. Well, that was brilliant, Tim, as usual. Some great to see the evolution of your thinking as well in terms of the algorithm and the communities and stuff. That's great. We a little bit over time, but I do have one question from the chat, which is Erin is asking, how do we convince our older co-workers, executives that Gen Z TikTokers are the way to go for influencer campaigns? I guess you come across this a lot. You're a Gen Z agency.
To be honest, it's quite specific to the need, but we just show them how they make money. That's it. That's it. Do a test, print money. The boss is happy because everyone likes money. There you go.
Got it. Show them the ROI. Got it. Well, and how can people? We've posted a couple of links to BYTESIGHTS. Maybe Emily can post a link to FanBytes as well. How can people stay up to date? I know you've got a really good TikTok newsletter. We're going to stick that on our office page as well. How can people, you know, connect with you, find out more?
Yeah. So for me personally, and yeah, there is a ton of stuff which we share and which I personally share on my LinkedIn. So get them to, just follow me on LinkedIn. Literally just Google me and there's a lot of places there. But LinkedIn is easiest to get in touch directly with me, or fanbytes.com. So we work across 8 different countries. So we work everywhere. So yeah.
Great. Well, I want to say a big thank you for joining us today. And thanks a lot.
Cool. Sweet. Cheers, man.